I know some people don't like to negotiate, but then they shouldn't make an offer and realize this is sales. I think with any of those, isn't it very kind of important or imperative where you start out at? Because when you then look at annual raises, bonus raises, and stuff like that, that's always the foundation that the rest of the time is based upon.
Yeah, really good point. And that's not to say that if you are in a job and you're at a rate that you don't think is really right for what you're doing, that all is lost. You always have an opportunity to kind of renegotiate the terms. And if you can't do it with your current employer, you can certainly do it with your next one.
I remember your 7 words when it comes to negotiation, and I remember them incorrectly. So the incorrect version of it was, how much flexibility do you have? And I know you can already see the error in that. And I did. It took me a little while to get there. But then I was like, wait a minute, that's not what Kate said, because how much flexibility do you have is still putting you in a negotiation position. It's not as open-ended as what kind of flexibility do you have?
Yeah, and it's a really interesting differential because the flexibility piece is really important. So and I love that you're recommending that people use these words, but what kind of flexibility do you have is really key. And I spent a long time developing this particular phrase for my clients, and so you do want to get to the flexibility because again, when you kind of think about flexibility as it relates to negotiation, that feels a lot better than, this is what I want. And if I can't have it, I'm going away,
Let's take, for instance, if you will, I was just offered a new salary at a new position. What in the heck do I do now?
Think about the responsibilities that you're going to have. Look at what the market price is for that kind of a job. And there are some really great resources online that you can research salaries, and make sure that the salary that they're offering you makes sense from a market perspective. And if you'd like to negotiate that, some companies discourage negotiating promotions. I still advocate doing it because you never know. And the way to do that is just by really making sure that you know your own value and you can articulate your value to the company and the value that you're going to be bringing to this new role, and then reference the market.
The name of your book is Pay Up.
Right.
So that sounds like a demand. That sounds like, all right, you're going to give me what I want, but nothing could be further from the truth.
It's Pay Up. And then the subtitle is Unlocking Insider Secrets of Salary Negotiation. So I used to be inside companies like Nike and Intel and American Express and designing pay programs, creating offers, and all of those things. So I actually know how the process works from the inside. So yeah, Pay Up is like a little demanding, and it does contrast with my philosophy, which is collaboration. Really, collaboration is the key. And I do spend quite a bit of time with executive recruiters and inside recruiters for companies, and they all thank me for this because in reality, what's happening on the inside of the company is the recruiter or hiring manager is really trying to create an offer that's going to be acceptable to you. They're not trying to lowball you. They're not trying to think, oh, I wonder, what is the very lowest that Glenn would accept? That's not what they're doing. This is a business transaction.
Is there any analogy that this kind of equates over to when you're negotiating for a new position? In sales, there's an old adage that I can meet your price if you can meet my terms, or I can meet your terms if you can meet my price. So if there is very little to no negotiating room for salary, what else can they negotiate?
Well, I think that's a really great, it's a great mindset because I think if you only create one way for your negotiation to be successful, then there's a lot of ways that it won't be successful. But if you can create a number of different ways that things could work out for you, that's great. I had a client who was seeking some extra pay and bonus. And so that she'd made her request about that. And they came back to her and said, hey, we don't think we're going to be able to do what you want to on the salary and bonus thing, but let's go, and we're going to go try to get creative here. And what happened is they were able to move a little bit on the salary and bonus, but they came in with these huge stock grant that we would have never anticipated that we could ask for even. And so, that completely outweighed, she didn't get the base and bonus increase. I mean, she got 5%, which is still really good, but she didn't get everything she wanted on that front, but it was completely overwhelmed by this other really amazing thing that the company did for her.
Are there things that you've witnessed, that you've seen, that you've heard that can sabotage that process for you? In other words, put you at a disadvantage going into what would be considered to be the actual negotiation?
Some people really don't feel comfortable, kind of putting a stake in the ground. I love it when my clients feel that confidence and can do that, but not everybody can. And so, one of the things too that people don't really know is like, hey, I don't really understand the full breadth of the responsibilities of the job yet. So what I do advocate for people to do is say something like, hey, really excited about this opportunity. I don't feel like I have enough information yet to give you my expectations based on what the role is, because I don't know enough about the role and I don't know enough about your total rewards program.